Hello and welcome to the Comics Atlas. This is the series in which we talk about the complete history of comic book characters. Today we're covering more Daredevil stuff when the saga of Star Saxton, Scientist and Enemy comes to an end. Also, Karen gets the surprise of her life in issues 54 through 57 of The Man Without Fear. It should be a nice episode, so let's get to it. The first cover we see tells us all we need to know. Matt Murdock died in 1969. That's always a great sign. He faked his own death with a plane crash. As we read last time, he really does want to get rid of his normal everyday self. There's still one encounter he must have though. He must recover his Billy Club from a morning Karen. The asshole goes asking for it, but then has to steal it to continue with his duty. By the way, we get a flashback of the fake accident. Whatever. Later, whilst the former lawyer is on the trail of Saxton, an old foe returns to confront him. It's Mr. Fear, from back when Daredevil was still yellow. He seems reformed and wants to face his former enemy to prove he's always been a coward. They somehow fight at the zoo, but it ends with our hero letting Mr. Fear go after feeling intense fear for a while. Geez, I wonder if he really is a coward now, or it has something to do with fighting a guy whose whole gimmick revolves around fear. Ahead comes issue 55. It's a story of Matt complaining about feeling like a coward and being treated as one by everyone, police, criminals and the public. Yes, he's already regretting his decision of erasing his past self. Sad and defeated, he goes to Karen and Foggy and asks a favor to the DA. Meanwhile, Mr. Fear is quickly becoming villain of the month as he is terrorizing police officers left and right. Cue in a Man Without Fear who is now fighting without chickening out. He explained what was going on all along. Foggy helped him realize that the original Mr. Fear was murdered some weeks ago, and the murderer stole his identity. It's none other than Star Saxton. He's been provoking all the crazy shenanigans Daredevil has faced in the past couple of days. Back during the Black Panther episode, he possessed the famous Billy Club for a moment that programmed it to release fear pellets into the user when it was near his flying disc. That explains the new coward Murdock. Oh yeah. It's explained after Saxton falls from his own flying vehicle to his death. Rest in peace, you asshole, let us never mention you again. Fresh issue, fresh story. With the only villain who knew his identity death, now Daredevil feels on top of the world. His new plan is revealing his face to Karen and marrying her after getting a new identity. Fair enough. He meets Foggy and his girlfriend Debbie while looking for his own lover. Well, she's not there and we learn more about her in fact. She's the daughter of Dr. Paxton Page, a scientist who developed the cobalt bomb. In the past, he was declared a traitor after failing to deliver his research results to Congress. He now lives in Vermont, the only place where our favorite secretary must be going to. In a train heading north, we catch a glimpse of Karen. She's thinking about her trauma, the whole being captured by a psycho and her boyfriend suddenly dying in the last issues. When you put it like that, yes, her life has sucked lately. She reaches her hometown and learns that everyone is scared of going near the Page place. Late at night, she gets a ride home, but everything goes to hell instantly. She's thrown a fireball by a freaking glowing skeleton mounting a dead horse who calls itself Death's Hand. It's later revealed this creature resembled one which haunted the dreams of child Karen Page. She's somehow unfazed by the encounter and continues her way home where she gets more bad news, cause her father's been captured by Death's Hand. Cut to the man on the title who serves on top of trains all the way to Page's home. He's now on the case, patrolling the area, when suddenly there's an ambush. Death's Hand catches him swinging around and orders him to leave. Of course he doesn't, so a midnight battle begins. In the end, the evil one knocks out Murdock with the help from his horse. It's time to set a trap. Sensing the police nearby, the supernatural villain dresses our protagonist as him and sends him as a decoy to be killed by the officers. He's only saved because the horse's glowing aura distracts the man in uniform from getting a clean shot. He escapes from his binding ropes, screwing his shoulder in the process. He then returns to the big house to get some rest when another figure makes his move. It's Garth, the mysterious butler of the Page family who goes off in the middle of the night to the place where Karen was attacked. Both Karen and Daredevil follow him to the old abandoned mill. But it's not as abandoned as Karen may think. A bunch of new equipment adorns the old cabin. It's there where Death's Hand appears again. The Devil and the Death battle across the barn as they try to best each other. The latter talks about traitors, which makes Matthew guess he is Paxton Page. In the heat of the battle, the villain releases a bath of molten cobalt to his rival, but Karen is also in the line of fire. So the skeleton pushes both hero and woman away only to be engulfed and killed by his own doing. In the epilogue of the story, the man without fear explains that Mr. Page returned to his old experiments to clear his name, but exposure to radiation drove him mad. He remembered Karen's old dreams and projected those memories onto himself to protect his work, fearing everyone around him was an enemy agent trying to rob him. While Garth, the butler, was a government agent, protecting the scientists from the real external threats. Days later, Karen, who is mourning another beloved man in a week, asks the superhero to leave her alone. He slowly tells her to take off his mask. So Karen does and sees that blind lawyer Matt Murdock is not only alive, but he is the one and only Daredevil. It's commendable that these issues try to explore Karen's psyche after being constantly pushed around. Up till this point, she had been a classical damsel in distress whose motives to act have been because she's a woman and she's emotional. She had run away before, but at least now it is portrayed as reasonable. The story with his father being the death hand is weak. It would have benefited from getting to know the man for a while before his death to have some kind of impact on the reader. It's almost like a Rush Halloween story without the stakes. Of course, the big news is Karen finally learning who Daredevil is. It's long overdue and hopefully will bring a better dynamic between the lovers. I cannot believe it, but I'm actually a bit excited for Karen's future. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to leave your like, share and subscribe down below. You can also check my other playlists on heroes such as Spider-Man and Thor. This is the Comics Atlas and wish you all a nice existence.